Hello, today I will be reviewing the Lego set 76173. It is Spider-Man and Ghostwriter versus Carnage. Now this is my first Lego review, as well as the first Lego Marvel set I have ever gotten. So let's start with minifigures. The main figure people will be wanting for this set, I assume, is Ghostwriter, and he is the only exclusive character to this set. Now, I believe Ghostwriter's appeared in one other set previously, but it was a different version. He had more of a white skull and more chains on his torso, whereas this one is more of a gray skull, I guess gray face. He looks very goblin-y. The hairpiece is actually just molded onto the head itself, so it cannot be removed. And I do not know too much about Ghostwriter as a character. I have not seen the movies. I have not read any comics of his. The only bit of info I know about him is from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show, and I still haven't even finished that. So, but as far as I can tell, it looks pretty cool. The next figure in order of interestingness to me is Carnage. I believe Carnage has been in other sets before, but I mean I don't have him. I don't have any Marvel characters in the first Marvel set, so I think he's quite cool. Again, I know nothing about Carnage. I think he's like a symbiote of Venom, like an offshoot or an offspring or something. I don't think he's like literally the son of Venom, but I feel like he's some sort of smaller version of him. I really like the back head printing, and like just it goes throughout the whole body. It looks kind of like black veins or cracks or something like that. His face is quite creepy too, which I appreciate. He's got this little attachment on his neck, which has his 4 tentacles, I assume. And with those, you can have him crawl creepily. Now the set is called Spider-Man and Ghostwriter versus Carnage, so I guess that Ghostwriter's teammate in this scenario is Spider-Man. Now again, this is my first Spider-Man character, so I think he's cool. He's got some neat arm printing there. The back of his head has more of his suit stripes. The pants are just normal blue pants, which is a bit disappointing because I have seen some versions that have red shoes, like dual molded legs, but for some reason they didn't do this one. Maybe it's because they, spent the money on the side arm printing, which, for those of you who don't know, is more rare with Lego. For example, Carnage and Ghostwriter do not have the side arm printing, but this guy does. I don't know if there's ever been a version of Spider-Man that has both the dual molded legs and the side arm prints. I'll look that up after this. Spider-Man also comes with these little web shooters as his accessories. I've never actually done this before, so we'll see how this works. But you push down on that and it shoots out. I think they're called power blasts. I think they initially originated with Iron Man, but I guess in this case they're just like the equivalent of Spider-Man shooting webs. So I'll have to go get those in a second. But anyway, those come with him. Ghostwriter's vehicle is kind of the main focus of the set. Other than the figures, it's the only build of the set. And I believe this is a Dodge Charger. I think that's like the iconic car of Ghostwriter. It was kind of an interesting build because if you look down here, there are a couple of hinged parts. You can see these grab that lever as well as up here. And I feel like that gives it a slight curve shape in the back, if you'll notice. Now obviously these back wheels are bigger than the front wheels, but like this it's not just curved here. Like I truly feel like this piece here is being bent ever so slightly. You can tell by the hinge there, and I feel like that's kind of cool. It gives it an interesting look. It doesn't just look flat. There's a bit of a shape to it, which I appreciate. Makes it stand out. At the front of the engine, you'll notice there are these are actual like little stud shooter things. 1, 2, and 3. In its normal setup, it should just look like this. Those little studs shouldn't be there, but those will come into play later, as there is one extra feature of this set, which I will show you now. This is, it's not really an alternate build, it's like a 2-in-1 set, but the car can transform into a like flamed variation of itself. I mean, if somebody shoots his car with like a rocket launcher or something, it can like light on fire but then stay on fire, which it seems like the car is a superhero in and of itself. And that is done by just replacing some of these side pieces with some of these more of these like trans orange splat pieces, I think they're called. And yeah, I think it's kind of neat. You'll notice there's like this one for the wheel here, and this one's for the smaller wheel up here. Now I know in real life like fire is usually asymmetrical, but I'm a bit bothered by having this tire as well as this tire not have anything on them. They didn't give any more. I mean, they have additionally these pieces, which they kind of look like candy, honestly. But those technically can be put in these the wheels here. But I think, I mean, that looks awful. I wouldn't recommend doing that. These I think are just for fun. But yeah, I would have liked, you know, 2 of these for the 2 back tires and 2 of these. They recommend the back having these 2 fire pieces, be a bigger one and a smaller one. But if you're truly bothered by, you know, the discrepancy in the sizes, you can put the 2 big flames in the back and the 2 smaller flames on the side. Something you add for the fire is those little studs, as previously mentioned, in the engine. I think that it's cool that they did this. You know, it's pretty easy to change. The only thing you do is you like take out these little black pieces off the side of the car, add those in, put some in the tires, put them in the back. And yeah, I really feel like I think it looks the best like this. I just, again, would have liked more of those pieces. Okay, so what is my verdict in terms of rating this set? You know, I'm going to be using a numerical system where 10 is the best and 1 is the least best. You guys know how systems work like that. What do I like about the set? Well, I should start off by giving a bit of context for, I don't know, I feel like sometimes reviewers will just say, oh, I love this sort of thing, this is a great car, but then you realize like they're obsessed, like they're a car fanatic, so like any set that is a car they're most likely to like. So I will say that I am not a big fan of cars. I have nothing against them. Like I drive them from time to time, but I'm not somebody who like knows every brand, make, and model of cars. But I will say I do like the look of this car. You know, the cars I do find appealing in real life are more old-fashioned. This looks like, I assume it's like a 60s style car. Like it looks very cool. I like, as I said, just the small detail that it kind of curves up really adds a lot for me. So, you know, the car is mainly the main build of the set. And I think 2 out of 3 figures are really cool. Ghostwriter is very cool. Obviously, you know, he's, I think, the big draw to the set, as I said, and I think that's a very well done figure. Carnage, some people have complained that he's in too many sets, or they haven't changed the minifigure, you know, but this is the first one I've got of him, so I have no complaints when it comes to that because he's fresh to me, and I think he's very cool. I just love, like, the size of it. He's very intimidating, so even though it's, you know, 2-on-1 with a car on this side, it seems like it could be a bit of a fair fight just because he's got that diameter, that width going for him. I think things I don't like, I don't know, I guess I'm just disappointed by Spider-Man. I might just be disappointed in him as a person in general. I've never been a big Spider-Man fan. I mean, I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, Spider-Verse was good, but I never saw the Tobey Maguire movies. I saw one of like the Andrew Garfield movie, but he looked like 30. So I guess I'm just not a big fan of the character, which I know is sacrilegious because, you know, up until the MCU happened, I still think Spider-Man's the most famous Marvel character, and I just have been always a little bit bored by him. And when it comes to the figure, I wish that he had those dual molded legs. He's okay. If the set came with just Ghostwriter versus Carnage and it was $20, I think I would think it's a little bit steep. I would have liked $15 more. I don't know though, with everything in context, with the fact that you can either have it in this normal mode or it's flame mode, or you can, and the fact that there's 3 good figures, you know, two really cool ones, 1 okay one, and a cool build. I think for $20, I'm happy with this. I like this. I think in terms of subject matter, I'm not like, this doesn't like spark the imagination, you know, it's just kind of a car and some cool people. I really do like these figures, and I'm the person who enjoys minifigures. I'm not the biggest, I enjoy Marvel, but I'm not the biggest fan of these Marvel characters, so I don't have any biases when it comes to like, oh, I'm obsessed with them. So I think I give this a 7 out of 10, which it's good, you know, to me 5, if I get a set and it's 5 out of 10, I'm happy with it. You know, to me 5 is just like baseline, like that's what a set should be. So 7, you know, it's 2 points higher than what would be an acceptable set for me, because I think the figures are cool, the car is cool, it's not too expensive. Yeah, and the car, something good about the car is, if you take away the flame parts, it can just look like a normal car. Like it doesn't scream Marvel. There's no like Ghostwriter logo or skull on the side of it. And I appreciate that they kept it simple. You know, they easily could have put in like, I know a lot of the Lego sets will put in a little Spider-Man vehicle, which never makes the most sense. Like I'm glad they didn't have a little spider bike on the side. Like it feels a little bit more, as silly as it is to say about a toy, a little bit more mature, just because it's, you know, a cool car, some cool figures. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Gotta go find all those pieces on the ground. Thank you. Oh, it looks great. My girlfriend was just flashing her in the background.